everyone, this is Crystal, and today I am sharing a spread in my 2019 Project Life album. This is a spread in March, and I can't exactly say what part it is because it's the first spread I'm doing in March, but I really wanted to get this documented, and I really wanted to use the high and low kit from Feed Your Craft to do so. So I've kind of jumped ahead, and all of these pictures span from March 21st through the 25th, so kind of like a long weekend, but they all kind of revolve around the same story, which is why I put them together in my album. So this is where they'll sit. I have already printed out all of my photos for March, so I've already decided kind of where the layout will be within the album. So this is how they're going to be. And like I said, I have the high and low kit from Feed Your Craft, designed by the amazing Brandi Kincaid, and that's what I will be using for this spread. So I am just going to put you on fast forward and get started. So I'm going to start by just going through the cards that are in this kit, trying to pick out some that I want to use on this spread. And there are so many beautiful cards in this kit. I had a really hard time choosing which ones to use. If you want to see a full unboxing of this kit, you can do so on my channel. I posted a video just prior to this one that has the complete unboxing in it. So I have a few picked out for sure, and then I'm trying to decide in this bottom corner what to do. It's actually a 4x6 pocket, but I have a 3x4 photo. So I was trying to decide whether to use one of the 4x6 cards or whether to just do two 3x4 cards side by side and put them in the one pocket. And eventually I decided to use that one 3x4 card and add my journaling to it. So now I'm going through the cut aparts that came with this kit. These are ones that you print at home and then can either use a die cutting machine like a Silhouette to cut them apart, or you can fussy cut them like I did. I actually enjoy fussy cutting, so I don't mind cutting these apart by hand. I did use punches for the circles. That just keeps them a little bit more perfect than I could do by hand, but otherwise I fussy cut the rest of them. And I'm just going through and picking out some that I want to use as embellishments on this spread. I'm thinking about balance of color, so making sure that colors are represented across both sides of the spread as well as the actual content, so making sure that they also match the story that I'm trying to tell here. So I want to use this card that just said mood, but I want to use it as an embellishment on one of my photos. So I decided just to fussy cut the word mood out of the card itself, and then I'm just going to glue it on top of one of the photos on my spread. I'm actually going to glue it on top of the one of my dog Abby sleeping on our bed, where she was that entire day. The entire day I took that photo, and I was just like, I hear ya, dog, I'm with you. I totally was in the same mood, so it seemed really perfect for that photo. And then I have a few labels spread out across the page, just as a little place to add some extra journaling beyond the one journaling card that I have. And now I'm just kind of playing with the finishing touches, deciding exactly how I want everything before I end up gluing things down and also grabbing the stamp set. So I like the way that it's looking. I'm going to go ahead and look through the stamps to see which of these I want to add. I know there are a few on here that I definitely want to include, one of which is the step-by-step stamp. There's a pretty large blank space in the photo of my hand. It's actually my hand holding a set of keys. So the story on this side of the spread, or kind of on this side of the spread, is that I quit my job and this was my last day of work. So I wanted to tell the story of how that went, and that this was just one step in a process that I have laid out for myself and in my future career. So that step-by-step stamp really seemed to fit well with the story I was telling, and it fit perfectly in that blank spot on the photo. So I didn't glue it, I stamped it with just some VersaFine black ink, black onyx ink. And I print my photos at home on Canon glossy photo paper, and so it's really easy to stamp on. It takes ink very well, and this VersaFine ink works really well on the photos. So I'm not finished stamping. I know there are a few more stamps that I want to include. I'm just trying to narrow down which ones exactly. I think next I'm going to work on a little embellishment. So I'm going to grab some sticker paper. This is just 4x6 sticker paper that you can get at really any big box store. It's just Avery sticker paper, and it's white. So I'm going to stamp Surviving Not Thriving from the stamp set. And these are 3 individual stamps that you can mix and match to create whatever sentiment you want to. I liked the idea of stamping them this way, but I'm just not sure if I want to stack them or if I want to do a line. So I'm going to try both and then decide once I see them. And I had tried putting all 3 on my stamp block at once, but I didn't like the spacing of it. So I wanted them to be a little bit closer together. So I'm just going to stamp them each individually. It doesn't take that much longer to do so. And trying it again in both a straight line and as a little cluster. And I'm going to end up going with the cluster. I just thought it fit better in the spot that I wanted to include it. So yep, just testing it out, and then I'm going to just fussy cut that really roughly out of that sticker paper. And I'm going to add it to the little cluster that I have in the bottom left-hand corner of my spread. So this was a rough day, and I ended it with a drink at home, and so that Surviving Not Thriving stamp just really seemed perfect, and it fit perfectly in that little cluster as well. So just making sure to clean my stamps before I put them away, just using a baby wipe to do that. And then next, I think I'm going to do one more stamp on the spread. There are just so many great phrase combinations on the stamp set. I had a really hard time actually deciding which ones to use because so many of them would have worked for these stories. But I end up going with, I think, one that says plant and prune. Oh, but actually, you know what? I do that after my journaling. So I'm gonna do some more embellishing first. So I really like how this cluster is going on this card here. So I used a label just to give that little circle die cut some place to sit. So I glued the label straight to the card, and then I'm just using a little bit of foam adhesive to pop up that circle. This is really thin foam adhesive, so it works well in the pockets of a Project Life spread. It's just the fun foam you can get at, again, any big box store. It's really easy to find and it's really inexpensive. And I just hand cut a little circle and then glued it behind that die cut. And now I'm just gluing down the other things I know for sure that I want to include on the spread. So another label on this little photo, and one of the little phrase strips that were on the cut apart sheet as well. That one says making the most of it. And then I'm gonna glue down the rest of the bits in this little cluster, and making sure that I get this sticker in the right place. So I kind of have it wrapped around that label so it sticks up above in one spot and it's below in another. So I went away and did my journaling just on a typewriter, and I had originally thought I would leave some space at the top, but it actually worked out better to leave it at the bottom, so that's what I've done. And now I'm just looking for another little die cut, another little piece from the cut apart sheet to add to the bottom of this spread, along with that little phrase or word strip that says trying. And here is where I'm going to add the other stamp. So I add the stamp that says plant in prune, and I do that first just so I can make sure I have plenty of room to stamp it and get a nice clean image. And then I will add the other bits around it. And you can see I'm such a messy stamper. I have the worst time with ink and not getting it all over the place. I almost always get it all over the place. So you can see I got a tiny little smudge of ink on the bottom of that card, but I'm just going to live with it. I could reprint it since we, of course, get the digitals along with the physical kit, but I just didn't feel like it, and it didn't bother me that much to have just one little smudge at the bottom. So I go ahead and leave it and move on. I added the date stamp to the top of that purple card, which is my absolute favorite from this kit. It's a Prince quote that says, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life," which just seemed absolutely perfect for this story. So I added my date stamp above that, and now I'm just adding a few lines of handwritten journaling to the 2 cards where I have labels. So the bottom one just talks about how it was a rough day and I needed something to make it seem a little bit better by the end of it. And then this one is about how we went to a benefit here in town and then ended up at a local pub to have another drink afterwards. And now I'm just adding a few little staples to finish off the spread, and then that's going to be it. So there are lots of close-up photos coming up. I hope you enjoyed the spread and found some inspiration. If you want to pick up this kit for yourself, there is a link in the description below for you to do so. And also be sure to check out all the amazing other products that are in the Feed Your Craft shop, including these puffy stickers, which are absolutely perfect and so much fun to play with, and they coordinate so well with the colors in all the kits. So be sure to check those out as well. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all back here soon.